streaming across 3 platforms now. I finally got 3 platforms. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Twitch. Somebody put me on the Twitch. So I'm on Twitch now with Everything's Debatable. I don't know if this records it and saves it for later. So, hey, just know everything is off the cuff. It's almost like, what was that old show that they used to have where they had the ad lib with the dude, the you know, the gay black. He's not necessarily gay, but you would think he was. He might be Brady. What was the name of that show? Whose line is it anyway? This is kind of like that where I'm just off the. So anyway, if you look at the description, it kind of gives you an idea what I'm talking about tonight. First, I'm going to get into the David and Celeste dating thing. You know, I don't know if it's actually been verified. So what we're going to do is we're going to look it up. We're going to research it and see what information we find on David and Celeste. While we're doing that, I got my lovely wife here. Did you have anything on it? Did you want to talk about it?
Well, still under investigation. He has not been charged with the murder and such. So the now I haven't really looked into him. He's supposed to be R&B singer. I guess they say R&B.
Actually, and I like his song. I've listened to some of them. Yeah.
And I first heard about him when this situation came because they was somebody canceled his tour because a deceased body was found in the trunk of his Tesla that had been impounded.
Right.
That's the.
Those are the allegations, but not even allegations. That's what they found so far. He had a Tesla. The body was found, and his name. Right. And so then he went ahead and canceled.
That's when I first heard about it.
Me too.
And then it started unfolding where the girl was supposed to be like 15. At first they were saying he was like older, like 30 or something, but then we found out that he was like 20. I think she's 15 and he's 20. He's 20.
Right. Now let me see. Let me tell you what I found here. It says, this is what it says. This is the AI overview. So I'm going to actually go into the sources that they have here once I read this. It says recent news reports have alleged that singer David, born David Anthony Burke, was in a relationship with the minor. He was in a relationship with a minor, Celeste Rivas, before her body was found in a Tesla registered to him. The Los Angeles Police Department is investigating the circumstances of Rivas' death. Now, that is the Economic Times, KKTV. I don't know where. Now, where did they get that information? That's why you can't trust AI, because there was no real source. But it says here, ABC, Hollywood Hills.
So a lot of the stories that have been going around, pretty much, let's say social media.
Mm-hmm.
They have, everybody putting their tools and fuse together because they've been listening to his music.
Exactly.
They're saying that he's been, kind of telling of the situation of.
That's what I wanted to get into. That's what I found very interesting. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead and finish your thought. I apologize.
I was going to say real fast. And also, a lot of people had questions as to why he hasn't been charged and such. So supposedly he was on tour at that time, and now it's information coming out talking about the girl may have had a relationship with his manager or something like so.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's so much stuff going out, but you don't know. So now, and another part of the story is that people are saying, how was she supposed to be missing and such when they were doing videos and such together? People are saying that her parents knew, her mom knew, and her mom took bribes. Again, this is all on
took bribes,
like she took money. So she
kind of like an R. Kelly thing.
Knew where her daughter was because they said when she first said that her daughter had ran away, she never mentioned that her daughter had a boyfriend named David. And they said, why wouldn't she do that if you talked about she has a boyfriend named David. So it's a lot of stories and stuff
Right.
going on. Recipes to Celeste, because nobody deserves that.
Right,
Nobody
exactly.
deserves that. That brings the topic of the age difference and
Exactly.
stuff.
And I'm gonna get to that. You know, if you haven't seen my TikTok, I got a TikTok under the name Up the Skull Media Group. I think Bosco.Malik is actually the tag or whatever. But anyway, I did a video, and I'm going to be doing a video investigation into this David songs. I don't know. Have you ever seen some of his songs? Have you? I mean, seen some of his videos or heard any of his songs? Let me tell you what I gathered from it. So anyway, I heard the story. Then it was brought up about the dating the younger girl or whatever. So that's what the topic is about tonight. But I want to touch on this. I watched some of his videos, and it's almost as if he is telling the story. It's almost as if he is telling the story of not only their relationship, but how it fell apart. There was a one that I watched the other day, and you know how you will find somebody where you love someone so much, and it's almost like he's hugging her tight, like I don't want to lose you. You understand? And after he does that, you see her face, and it's a tear, and then he wipes the tear away, almost as if saying, like, you know, don't leave. I don't want you to leave me. Please don't leave me. Whatever. But she's sad about being in a relationship like she wants to go. Now that was just my take on it. I did a video on it. It's on TikTok. I'm going to be doing this video investigation because the music I like the music. I've never heard of him, like my wife said. I never heard of him before, but after listening to some of his music, I want to hear more. And it's messed up that this is how we find out about this particular talent. But anyway, the topic for the everything's debatable tonight. I'm sorry. My guest co-host has something that she wants to say.
No, so that was a good observation that you uh, had taken from the music, because that's another thing that social media was talking about. They were saying like his music. They said, from the beginning when he put it out, is like he's telling the story of before they met, like him being in love with an underage, or like him being in love with the girl but not supposed to be with the girl,
Right.
and then they talked about him talking about actually being with her, and then they actually, like, he talked about the death of her. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of people were saying that too or whatever. And it was another point that I wanted to bring up about. Oh, they were saying in the songs too. Another thing you said, they were talking about how the girl wanted to go home at times, and he would be mad at her about wanting to go home, like, you know what I'm saying, because she was a runaway, and then kind of want to do your own thing, but you still miss being around your family, and that's what take, whatever.
Right, yeah.
But they were saying that he had made a post saying, like,
He was like a jealous boyfriend.
We can't always have our ideal situations. We gotta move through it, like, so you can't go home.
Right.
You may not be able to come back. And then a part of if now this is just me, because I don't know.
Right.
But if her story or y'all's story is what's making you famous, you probably wouldn't want her to go, because that's your
right. But you're talking about prior to this incident, to her being found in the trunk? Was that part of the story? Like, I didn't know that. That was actually, like, people knew that was going on. And
but again, we're in social media. Nothing is confirmed.
Nothing is really confirmed on that. I got you. Okay, so now we get to the topic of debate, right? Topic of debate. Underage, dating someone underage. I guess, there are a number of things to consider, right? The age range, you know what I mean? Like, if you're talking about 40 and 20, you know what I mean? Or are you talking about, like, in this situation, it was only 5 years.
It's like the Romeo and Juliet law.
The Romeo, what? I never heard of that. Romeo and Juliet law.
The Romeo and Juliet is called different things in different states, but it keeps like people who like seniors, in this situation right here, so say she was a freshman or a sophomore and he was a
Right,
senior,
because that's the way
it
I looked
keeps
at
them
it.
from being like registered as sex offenders, like having to deal with. It keeps them from being like getting those harsher cases, because they are like, they're in high
Right.
school together type of deal. So uh, the law is different, and it may not be called Romeo and Juliet,
Everywhere.
but that's the gist of the law. Each state has their own, way around that such and whatever. So
Right. I'm
even
sitting
though they
here.
may be convicted of it still,
Uh-huh.
because it's still like illegal to them, it's not as harsh as if somebody that's like 15 and then you got like a 30 or 40-year-old.
Well, let me mention this. I'm reading it right now. Like my wife was mentioning, the Romeo and Juliet laws are named after Shakespeare, star-crossed lovers, and offer legal protection to teens who consensually engage in sex with peers close in age. But one thing is, it says here the age gap. Generally, the age gap between the two parties must be 4 years or less. Didn't know that. What's going on? Thanks for joining. Leave your comments. Right now, we're talking about underage dating. We're talking about the David and Celeste thing. I guess they were dating, and whether or not underage dating is wrong. So anyway, let's get to it. What do you think? What do you, in the grand scheme of things, what do you feel about underage? Like, yeah, dating someone underage.
It's kind of like a great. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, in high school like that, I could see that because even still, they'd be like, oh, they just came out of middle school. Like, people grow up, people, whatever,
Right.
It depends on the individual, I guess, the maturity level as well. I know they say, like, scientifically, like, the mind doesn't develop and such, whatever, like that. But if she's 15, he's 17.
Right.
18.
He was 20
like
in this situation. He was 20.
He was 20 and she was 15. Supposedly started
Right.
talking to her when she was
But
12.
she was 12.
Talking about he was grooming her until,
Right.
whatever. I guess he couldn't take
And see, and I think that's that to me. I think there has to be. I don't know. I don't know if it's just
kind of a
because it could be like taboo. It could be like but I'm saying even 17 and 12 to me is like,
17 and 12.
you know what I mean?
Like,
I'm thinking even like I don't care what age it is. I think a 12-year-old girl is kind of like, nah. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I'm saying even like 13 and possibly maybe 14.
13 to 17, you still gonna feel like something.
I'm still gonna feel like something. Yeah, I'm still gonna feel like something. So, but even if you still feel some type of way, like what are you doing? Like maybe if she's 14, you're like, you're on the cusp,
It's like the number it just seems so low. Like,
right.
Don't even worry about dating. You
don't need to be dating at all. But see, then there goes the double standard though.
Not the reality of things to.
That's true. That's not the reality. But I think also there's a double standard there. Because if it was a boy and he was 12 and his girlfriend is 17, you don't.
Oh, hell, they still gonna have a fit.
You think so? The moms. I'm talking about society as a whole. But their mom might be mad. You think moms, a society of moms will be upset if a young boy, 12, is dating a 17-year-old woman or 17-year-old girl? You think so?
It may not be as it may not be as frowned upon like it is, but it's not going to be as bad as if it's a girl and a boy because they felt like the boy is manipulating, saying the girl.
Right, exactly. Right. He's feeding her lies. He just manipulating her, telling her whatever to get whatever he want out of her. I don't know. I mean, but at the end of the day, I guess the question is it wrong or is it just taboo, like something that um, we've been taught or conditioned to believe. Because keep in mind, at a certain point in time in history, a girl was considered an adult once she had a menstrual cycle. Once she started her menstrual cycles, then she was considered a woman and she was fit to be married because at that time she could bear children. And that is still in the United States, you have that law still here, even though it's not talked about. But in some states, they don't even have a age requirement for marriage. As long as your parents agree, you can get, if they consent, you can get married. So the thing is it really wrong, or is it just something that's more like taboo? Anyway, what are your thoughts on that? Underage, what is your thoughts on, underage, dating someone underage, or even the age gap? You know what I mean? If you're talking about someone that's like 50, dating someone because that was a huge thing. I brought that up in the group before, and people were just they were really upset. Like, well, the women were really upset. You know what I mean about it. But then if you do the reverse, if you say, okay, if the woman is 50 and the man is 23, then what? You know what I mean? It's a double standard there too. But anyway, moving on to the next topic for tonight. I don't know if you caught Dame Dash. He was recently on what is he was on the Breakfast Club. He was on the Breakfast Club. And pretty much, while being there on the Breakfast Club, he said that was an old clip. Huh. I did not know that was an old clip. Sure that I apologize. I'm just making sure that my mic and stuff still work. So that was an old clip. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Let me see. Dame Dash on the Breakfast Club. On what? This stuff. Well, you can still talk about it. Like I said, I'm just recording. I'm going to go back and chop this up. Okay. No, this was just from 5 days ago. 5 days ago. So Dame Dash was on the Breakfast Club. It says that he was defending the broke claims, his false teeth, and more. So anyway, while on the show, he says of Charlemagne and DJ Envy that they're not a great representation of black masculinity. Of black masculinity. And as a matter of fact, he said they were gay, right? He called them both gay. I know for sure he called Charlemagne gay. He said Charlemagne was gay. I personally have felt that way for years, though.
And he said he needs to start tired.
He probably needs to come out the closet. I felt like that though. I mean, he acts very feminine to me. You know what I mean? Sometimes I can almost imagine that he would be the type of person in drag. That's just how he comes across. But everything's debatable. Charlemagne, you're always welcome to come on. And what was I looking up? Dame Dash. Black masculinity. I wanted to understand what they feel. What are your thoughts on black masculinity? What is that to you? What does that mean to you? I'm asking you, baby.
Oh.
I mean,
What you mean? So, no.
I mean, who do you think I was talking to? I said I'm asking you.
I thought you was asking your black masculinity to me.
Yeah.
Gives provider, gives I don't know.
Well, okay. So when I hear it, what I'm thinking that a person is talking about, because for a very long time we hear the term, you're a real ninja. You know what I mean? But then I'm like, I know a friend of mine, an associate of mine, wrote a book on um, that particular subject. You know, being a real ninja, right? And so I guess what are we defining that as, and if that has anything to do with what he is considering black masculinity.
So the part of they said that he was talking about on there was that he pushed the idea that real men don't work for other men; they create their own business. He had a clash with DJ Envy because he was saying if you can't leave your kids a business, you're failing as a man. So they said Damon Dash was equating masculinity with ownership and control.
Hmm.
To him, working for someone else was equals weakness or dependency.
I did. I think DJ Envy actually responded somewhat to that, and if that's his position, then I would definitely say that I don't agree. I know that that's the probably the goal of most people is to become independent, become self-employed, and be business owners and what have you. But to say that, but he does have a point. But I don't necessarily think that it's about leaving a business to your children. It's more about generational wealth, and you can acquire generational wealth by working a job and still leave that to your children. So I think that he was off base, and with that particular argument, making that particular argument. I think that I think, and what I found interesting is a lot of times to me, Dame Dash is the one that is lacking what I would perceive as black masculinity. You know what I mean? Like he deals with so many insecurities, um, with everything that it's always like he's defending a position. I feel like when you're strong, and you're confident in yourself, you don't always defend your positions against. So anytime anything is brought up about, the money, he says, "Oh well, I'm a boss. You ain't a boss."
If it's not, it's kind of like he comes off if you not doing what I'm doing, then you lacking. Like you
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like that's how it comes. And they were saying that he was trying to tie it into it's kind of tied into a broader cultural view that black men must define themselves outside of systems that historically exploited them. Right? They said he argued that men should leave their children something to own, not just bills or a good job. And then he did tie manhood to generational wealth.
Oh, he did say general. Okay.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
about
But I mean, to say that those particular men in that space aren't, acquiring generational wealth to leave their children, yeah, it doesn't make sense. And so that's what I mean. I think that he's more in his feeling. You know what I mean? And that to me is a sign of weakness and insecurity, and that's why you're attacking those men on that platform. And that's why you attack so many different people. You know what I mean? He's always attacking people. You know what I'm saying? Or defending in his defense is attacking people. I just saw, yeah, but
like it's like hyper masculine, like toughness, dominance, like authority comes off or whatever. But
right.
it's like he really come off like arrogant, dismissive. Like he come off toxic as hell. Like he really, I don't know because we don't really we assume that Damon Dash is losing because Jay-Z is winning so much.
Right. But
You
he
know
may
what I'm
not be
saying?
losing.
But he may not be. And even though, you see him go to court and like he ain't got no money, like everybody said, like he probably got trust and stuff. He probably
Right.
good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we consider him to not be I guess we consider him to have fallen off because he hasn't done anything else like musically.
Right.
And
But if you don't mind me interjecting real quick, the other thing that he may be doing, and I think a lot of people that have some kind of celebrity status or that are in the industry, I think that he is using it to for content. You know what I mean? I think that so that may be what he's doing instead of actually just what I'm saying is where he's not being, showing masculinity. maybe he's being strategic in what he's doing. So his attacks are more strategic because keep in mind, right now at this moment, we're talking about it, and it became a conversation all across the internet. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, yeah, yeah. So I don't know, but
But I think black masculinity, like we go back and ask, I think it incorporates a lot. But being unapologetic, in what you saying and what you saying for, regardless of other people, you know, accept it, like it or not, that's
right,
part of it. I feel like being vulnerable, being able to provide in some sense that you may not be able to own your own business, but you are taking care of home, you are
right,
stepping up, and like responsibility wise or whatever. I feel like it's a part of masculinity too,
right,
being able to be around, don't, I don't know if to say this, but like, to me, a man can be masculine too if he's okay with being around. Like gay people don't make him feel no type of
right.
way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's not he get around. Hell no,
He's not.
you
He's
better
not
get you better get
homophobic.
away from me. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not
he's not
homophobic. You know what I'm saying?
homophobic.
Because you cool.
A
Yeah,
lot of
you know what
times, I
I'm saying?
feel like the men that are like that, like what is it about it that what is it about that situation that is making you so uncomfortable? You know that you are so aggressive. To me, that's kind of suspect.
You turned on and you mad about it.
That's
But
what I. That's kind of what I feel. Like it's suspect to
yeah,
me.
like so
Yeah.
it's a lot of things. I just think being able to lead, whether you are financially able to. I think it is outside of money as well.
Right.
Um, being able to take care of the household is good, but you can also lead from telling people where they need to be and what they can be doing and offering that support as well in time. So
Right.
uh,
Okay.
yeah,
Um. Yeah. So again, share your thoughts. I'll be chopping these up and putting out shorts. So if you go look at TikTok, um, make sure to follow me on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok, Up the Scope Media Group on TikTok. Subscribe to the YouTube, Up the Scope Media Group on YouTube, and on Twitch is Up the Scope Media Group. Subscribe there too. Jimmy Kimmel, how long we been on here? Do you know how long I've been on here? I've been only been on for like 27 minutes. I don't necessarily need the other segment because I can chop this up. But if you want to, we can still discuss it. We can talk about Charlie Kirk and how people. I don't. As a matter of fact, I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to talk about him. Sorry, no, sorry, not sorry. But don't be offended by. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Jimmy Kimmel being fired. I don't really care about that either. Because at the end of the day, the networks, the people who are the owners, the CEOs and everything, the execs, they have the right to fire and hire whoever they want to for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he can maybe, unless they had a contract that says something different.
so they're saying you free, it's freedom of speech, but not freedom of consequence.
Right, exactly. And freedom of speech is more about in the public. You know what I mean? Not at a job, not at your school. You know what I mean? Places like you can't do that. But if you're out in public, if you're in a public forum, if you're in these spaces, you can do that. Um, yeah, but even here, you don't have like the freedom of speech, even on the internet, on these platforms. You know what I mean? You do, but there are consequences. So again, so yeah, that was it. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for joining me as well. Y'all can't see my wife right now, but she's right here. Thank you for joining me. And that's it. Like I said, I'll go ahead and chop this stuff up, and put my show together. Hopefully, it all comes out well. Man, my back is itching. It's crazy. I need you. We gone. God loves you. We do too. Peace. Oh.